Right when I go live, a kid is about to come in through that door. This is quarantine time with Sierra. Actually, so much stuff is starting to open up here in the US, but I totally hear a kid at my door. My door is unlocking. A kid is totally about to come in right when I go live. It's amazing. So, that being said, start with a song until some people show up. And I have a special treat. I rewrote some lyrics again today. So, we'll see. We'll see if I blow out the microphone or not. All right. Just take that old group off the shelf. I'll sit and audit it by myself. Today's newsfeed ain't got the same scroll. I like that old time engagement gold. Call me a rebel, call me what you will. Whoop. Say I'm a dreamer, say you don't have the skill. Today's newsfeed ain't got the same scroll. I like that old time engagement gold. Still like that old time engagement gold. That conversation just soothes the soul. I reminisce about that viral post with that old time engagement gold. So that is the song for today. That's the intro. We've been going live for about 1 minute and 36 seconds, and I already have a visitor. Hello. Say hello. Say hello. Say hello. No. Well, what'd you come in here for? What'd you come in here for? Okay, say bye-bye.
Bye.
You're sweet, baby. Okay, can you go get Journey? Tell Journey you need help. Okay, so I have a few questions from people, and I might tag people. I might pull it up. If you are tuning in live, make sure you put live down below. And if you are tuning in on the replay, put replay down below. And I have one question for you guys today. So the question is, if you had a group, what would your group be about? So I'm going to tag a couple of the people that had questions real quick. So I'm going to start with the questions here. And then I'm gonna jump into a couple other things about like making your vision a reality and Facebook group engagement and all that kind of jazz. So the first question that I want to answer is from Pratik. If I say your name wrong, I'm so sorry. Correct me, send me a voice note, and tell me how to say it right. So he says, can we check a group's prime time by any means? And so if you have your own group, Facebook has analytics that you can look at. And so the analytics track how often people are posting. They can track like the times that people are posting. It tracks basic Facebook engagement. I measure engagement in a different way than what Facebook group analytics do, because I measure how people are engaging and what type of engagement it is, as opposed to just people commenting. One of the things that works with the algorithm is a lot of people will comment an emoji, or they'll put some kind of word down below, and it causes it to get boosted in the algorithm, but it doesn't necessarily get results. It doesn't necessarily get more sales, because even though it's technically engaged, it's not actually what the target audience wants to see. And so the target audience completely misses it. And the more people that engage on it that aren't the target audience, the more people it shows that kind of grouping to. And that's really not what you want. So as far as checking the metrics, if you have your own Facebook group, you can check metrics. If you're wanting to go into other groups and look at that, what you can actually do for yourself is you can find the kind of people that you're interested in tracking. And come here. You can find the kind of people that you're interested in tracking, like your target audience, and you can just look and see when are they online, because a lot of times people will check in at the same time every single day. I'm going to lock that door. My toddler knows how to open it. I'm live and I'm going to jump off of here. Hi, Domingo. If anyone else is on, it's not showing me if anyone's on today, so it looks like I'm going live to nobody. If you have a question, drop it down below. I asked a question earlier. If you had a group, what would your group be about? My 2-year-old is just going to be in here with us today, guys. That's just the kind of day that it is. Okay, so the next question is from Matt Smith, and it's about automation. He says, what part of managing a group can and should be automated? So whenever you are having a group that is extremely highly engaged, the way that it gets engaged is not through automation. If you can imagine, and this just happened like 3 times today, I get calls on my phone and they're from numbers that, it's people I've never heard of. It's numbers I've never heard of. And what's funny is that my phone will actually pop up and say potential spam. And that's the thing that happens a lot of times with automation. If you automate posts, sometimes it gets engagement. But sometimes automated posts, especially if you're using an outside app outside of Facebook, those automated posts will be lowered in the algorithm. Facebook wants you to keep as much internal as possible. So that was Matt Smith's question about automation. My viewpoint of automation is Facebook gives you some really cool tools, like you can schedule your lives out. You can schedule posts within your group. I think you can do it on your page. And so there's tools that Facebook gives you as automation for it. But the whole idea is, when you post something, the first 30 minutes of that post life are extremely important. But you can always boost a post by commenting on it again later or responding to a comment later, and it'll boost it back in the algorithm and give it a little jump again. But the biggest thing to remember is if people don't want to see it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you automate it. It doesn't matter if you are on there engaging with people on it. None of that matters if it's not speaking to your target audience and it's not what they want to hear. Thank you. Do you want to say hi now? Come here, say hi now.
Hi.
Okay, so are engagements like comments or reactions more important? As far as likes go, likes are a little bit important. Reactions are more important than likes. So if you have liked this post, turn that into a heart.
I could do this.
I know I did this last time, and I'm gonna have to get like little heart stickers. So you can start with a like, but turn it into a freaking heart. Don't turn your heart into a like. Give me the hearts. Hearts boost stuff in the algorithm a lot better. And do that on your friends' posts. Do that on people's comments. People love that. I actually did a live about that a while back. Are you saying bye?
And you say
Yeah,
bye.
he just gets to be with us tonight, guys. Okay. So, and as far as
No.
you don't want to be in my lap. Okay. As far as comments go, comments boost it more in the algorithm than likes do. So I would pay attention to that. If you can have a conversation with somebody, do it. So, okay. The next question is from Yasha, and he gave this question on the last live video. So if you guys have a question that I don't get to today, I might talk about it on the next one. I'll have to tag him. Lead magnet or Facebook group, assuming you capture emails both ways. And so I would say that lead magnet for emails. Typically, he's crying. He's in here. He's crying. He's just engaging. He is. So I would capture emails either in your Facebook ads. I would capture emails whenever you're doing some kind of a CTA or call to action. Those are the places that I would recommend capturing emails. That would be the best. Okay, and I saved this question for last, so if you guys have any other questions, drop them down below. I answer all live questions first before I get to the questions that were submitted ahead of time, just in case those people aren't tuning in. So Liz asked a question about engagement, and I saved this one for last for a very specific reason. She said, how do you boost engagement in Facebook groups? Guys, guess what? I created the freaking C5 strategy, and that's how you engage in groups. That's how you boost engagement in groups, is with the C5 strategy that I created. So boosting engagement in groups, like, again, going back to what I said earlier, you'll see like sometimes there's people who are in multi-level marketing or affiliate marketing, and they do this thing. I don't know what they refer to it as. I heard somebody else refer to something similar as like a bump set spike kind of thing, where one person will post up a question or a quote, or they'll post up something related to their business, and then somebody else from their team will come comment on it. And then somebody else from their team will come drop an emoji. And then somebody else from their team will say, that's awesome, so good, so cool. And it's just all like hype, hype, hype. But the idea behind it is that the actual post itself is not reaching the target audience of new buyers, which is what you really, really want if you're doing it for your business. So when it comes to boosting engagement in your group, you know, you have to show up as a leader. I just posted about this the other day. If you show up as a leader, then the whole group is going to mirror back to you the way that you're showing up. So if you have low engagement, it's probably because you're being a low engaging person. Yes. So I wanted to share about turning vision into reality. I have some targets up on the wall. Instead of doing like a normal vision board, I put up targets. And one of my targets was to get a new car. I'm sure if you've known me for any length of time, yes. And it doesn't work, Hong. The bump set spike does not work. So I mean, like maybe two customers off of something that has like 300 comments, but most people aren't actually going to want to see it. So that being said, vision into reality, I had this up on one of my targets. I realized that I had to pull it down. So I had pulled it down. Here's what it says. It says new Suburban. And this was up on my vision wall, up on my target. And the thing is that I actually put this onto my vision wall back in November of last year. And I want to talk to you guys about how important your vision, your mission, your purpose is behind your business. Because last year, like, why did it take me so long to get this? Because I manifested this into my life. My new Suburban is sitting in my driveway. It's amazing. Love riding in it. I'm going on a road trip coming up in the next week, and I've got vacation coming up, and I get to drive it for a long time. I'm super excited about that. But, you know, why did it take me until June to get my car? Why didn't I have it sooner? And the reason is because your vision has to be in front of you every single day. There's a scripture that I really like, and it says, where there is no vision, the people perish. And the thing is that if you don't have a vision, you're going to lose sight of the vision, and you're always going to be dropping back to whatever your default is. So you have to keep that vision freaking in front of you every single day. That is how important it is for your group, for your business, for your sales, for your personal life, for your family. You have to have a vision for it, and you have to keep it in front of you every single day. It's just like, you know, you have a bow and arrow, you're looking around, you don't have a target. What are you aiming at? Or take this example. You go to Google Maps and you're like, I want to go out to eat, but I don't know where I want to go. And you type in restaurants and there's restaurants everywhere. You have no direction. If you don't have the address, you don't know where you're going. So you gotta have your address in front of you every single day so that you know where you're going. Riley, what's up? If you have a question, drop it down below. So one of the other things when it comes to vision and why it's so important, one of the setbacks that I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs have lately is what I like to call entrepreneur brain. And it's where you have a million wonderful ideas. Like every single idea you have is great. But the problem with those ideas is that you have too many and you just won't make a freaking decision. And the reality of it is it doesn't matter which one you choose. It does not matter what you decide. It just matters that you make a decision. So if you will just decide, just take any of the ideas, it doesn't matter, and decide the one that you want to pursue, then you will very quickly find out if it was the right one or not, instead of sitting there wondering, is this the right decision to make? So the thing is, I've run into so many entrepreneurs, and I've helped with this so much recently. You know, the biggest thing you can do is make that decision. Yes, it is absolutely a real thing. And I was actually struggling with it myself. And one of the things that is most helpful is if you can find somebody else who you trust to give you good advice, to sit down and just talk it out for a minute so that they can ask you some really good questions. If you can get somebody else to ask you some really good questions, they think about it a little differently. That will help you be able to make those decisions faster. Any tips for helping with feeling as an authority, just fully believing in yourself, been having a challenge lately? Okay, so Oh man, these are really good questions. So one of the things you got to remember, it's a really cool principle that I actually learned from like historical stuff from like the Old Testament. There's this guy named David in the Old Testament, and he went, and I'm sure like a lot of people know this story about David and Goliath. It's like the little guy versus the giant. And what he does after he defeats the giant is he goes and he cuts off the giant's head. He takes the giant's sword and cuts off the giant's head and then parades around town with the head until he gets to the king and presents the king with the head. Crazy story, right? But the idea is that he actually took the giant's sword and he kept it. And he wrapped it up in an ephod and he kept that sword to remind him of the battle that he won. And you have to do that in your business. You have to do that with things before. And it's one of those things that if you can add this into like your morning formula or to like what you remind yourself of every single morning, put in the wins that you've had in your business. Like, you know, when I see one of my clients really, really like blowing it out of the water and making the sales, you know, like in the first couple weeks made $12,000 in sales, I put that into my morning formula. I put that into the first thing in the morning so that I can remind myself who I am and what I do. Like it's normal. It's normal for me, and it's normal for you too. So if you guys have any other questions, drop them down below. But yeah, you got to remind yourself of the battles you've won. You've got to remind yourself of how you made it through and how you overcame in other obstacles and other areas. And that really helps to build up that strength inside of you. Like, you know, can I do this? Yes, I can. I faced this obstacle, and before I got to this obstacle, I'd never faced anything like it before, and then boom, I did it. Boom, I did that one too. Boom, I did that one too. It's like when you're on an exponential growth curve, you're going to face things you've never faced before. But that little bit of fear that you have inside of you, that's good. That's a good thing, because that fear propels you to do better and to do more. Do you have any other questions? Are you still with me? I don't know. I can't tell today. So I sang at the beginning. I took, it's Old Time Rock and Roll. I took that song and I rewrote the lyrics for fun. I'm getting ideas for what I might drop into a YouTube channel. Okay. What are the first basic steps one needs to start a Facebook group? Pick a name. I mean, if you want basic, yeah, definitely hire me. Yeah, pick a name, start the group, you know, figure out what the group's about, invite people in. I mean, those are the absolute basics. I mean, just starting a group, anyone can start a group. Starting a group isn't hard. The idea behind it though is that if you want super high engagement and you want people to show up and raise their hand, then you want to work with me and you want to have the C5 strategy. And it entirely depends on what you want your group to be about and what your mission and purpose is to whether or not we'd be a good fit to work together. Oh, did you hear it, Hong? Oh my gosh. I didn't know anyone was on here because it wasn't showing me. If you haven't already, don't smash the like button. Give me a heart. Reactions always are better for the algorithm and for engagement, but you won't make money. Yeah, if you just start a group randomly, you know, you might make a few dollars here and there or something, but if you hire me, you can have exponential growth. You can have people showing up chasing you down instead of you having to chase people down. And I was talking earlier, one of the people asked about automation. And, you know, people are using so many chatbots, and just think about it. Think about all the chatbots. Think about how often you get chatbotted and how often you hide that chatbot. There's every once in a while where I like a chatbot scenario, but most of the time I don't. Most of the time I'm hiding it. Most of the time the automated emails are getting trashed. Most of the time the automated phone calls are getting blocked. You know, it's one of those things that, people like engaging with people. They don't like engaging with automation. That's what a group is for. A group is for a community where people can come and feel loved and growth and community, feel like they're contributing. Like there's all these wonderful things about a group. Okay. I heard someone say on a post that he started a group after he had 2,000 people in his avatar and then started a group. So what number of friends who fit your avatar would you say is good to have to start a group? So I helped somebody who had less than 100 people in her group a couple years back. I helped her to grow her group and to launch a membership for her group. And she made a lot of money off of her group. And when she launched, she had 5 figures that she made. I think it was between 20 to 30,000. And she actually only had 500 people in the group at that time. So do you need 1,000 people? Do you need 2,000? Do you need 5,000? No. If you create a group the right way, people will come to you. And the way that you do that is the C5 strategy. Yeah, Salman, hit me up and we can talk, man. Yeah, I don't know what you got to tell me what time it is there, and I'll work. I have several people who are overseas, so I'll work to go live earlier. Marina, what is up? Yes, I am. And Marina and I are going to work together at some point. I know it because I love her group and I'd love to see that just absolutely explode. I think it's such a cool group. So I asked a question at the beginning. If you had a group, what would your group be about? So if you did not drop the answer for that, drop the answer for that. And if you have any questions, drop them down below. I think I might have missed one, so I'm going to scroll back up for a second. It's growing it with super high engagement and getting clients from there is hard. Yep, it is, unless you know what you're doing. It doesn't have to be hard. It really doesn't. It doesn't have to be hard. Okay. Thank you, Riley. I'm so glad. He says, thank you. This helps so much. I'm so glad that was helpful for you. Let's see. I don't know. I need to think about it. When to even consider a group. So I personally am of the opinion that any time is a good time to start a group. The idea behind a group is that if you create a community, like some people have said, is it too late to create a group? Is Facebook, Facebook could shut it down at any time. If you actually are creating a community of people, the people are going to be drawn together. And then the community doesn't have to only be in Facebook once you've actually created it. And the community will stay a community no matter what. I mean, whenever you look at a movement and you look at a mission, the community stays together no matter where it goes. I mean, you look at Girl Scouts of America, there are a lot of Girl Scout groups on Facebook, but do they have to have Facebook to continue? There are a lot of churches that band together as a community and they have their Facebook groups, but do they have to have the group to keep having church? No. There are other missions and movements and stuff like that they have Facebook groups, but do they have to have the group to have the community? No. So the idea of the group is that you actually are creating a community. And so if for whatever reason anything happened, you already have people's contact, you already get in touch with people are excited to be there, they want to be a part of it. And then you could do it on LinkedIn, you could do it on Instagram, you could do it on Reddit, you could take it into other places, but pick one platform and start with that. If you are already on Facebook and you have already built up a following on Facebook, don't try to jump over to Instagram. You already have all of these warm leads right here ready and waiting to go. They're just waiting for you to sell them in the way that they want to be sold to. Don't try to jump on Instagram. Don't try to jump onto LinkedIn. I actually had another person that I was helping earlier this month who has hit 17,000. The last time I talked to him, it was 17,000 in closings. But he said that he was trying to do everything on LinkedIn. And I was like, well, where did your first sale come from? He's like, Facebook. And I said, well, where are people actually engaging with you? And he said, Facebook. And I was like, well, then why are you wasting time on LinkedIn? Your avatar is obviously on Facebook. Go back to Facebook. And as soon as he did, and he took steps in that direction, all of a sudden it picked up for him. I mean, we also talked about some other stuff, but he got way more off of Facebook than he did off of LinkedIn. Do you help groups get started from scratch? Absolutely, I do. Absolutely, I do. What is this talk about payment? Where did that come from? Did I miss a conversation in here? A question I wanted to ask. What's your payment plan? Do you do layaway and take deposits for saving a spot. Yes, I do. Yasha, you crack me up. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I'm willing to work with people. I also get very busy, and I want to make sure that I'm busy helping the people who want to be helped at the time that they can actually accomplish things and get things done. So yeah, groups starting from scratch, it's about the same. There's a little bit of a different process that somebody who's starting from scratch versus somebody who already has a group that we go through, and it's just like an extra week before we really launch the group to make sure that your group is starting with a really good mission and purpose that's actually going to reach the target audience that you want it to reach, and to make sure that you're also extremely fulfilled in what you're doing, so that you don't, like, we want to create a group that you love. That's one of the main ideas behind that. Shane says, what is the best way to revitalize a group if it has went a bit cold or quiet? So one of my clients, he actually had a very dead group of about 1,500 people. And it was very easy. Within the first 2 weeks, he'd already reignited several people. Several people came out of the woodwork. They honestly said that they'd been following him for like a couple of years. And I want to say that his numbers in the first 2 weeks, he had sold something like $9,000 worth. He's over in the UK, so I'm trying to do quick math in my head to translate the money over. But yeah, I mean, it's not hard to raise a group from the dead. You just have to know what you're doing, and you have to kind of reframe and reshape the group a little bit, but it works 100% of the time. I thought that was a question for everyone. Oh my gosh, you guys are having conversations. Replying to Yasha. Replying to Hong. Oh my gosh, you guys are having conversations. And it just shows it to me like one comment at a time. That's funny. Okay. Would you sell a template for starting a group, the strategy, so I can just buy and save your time? Right now, no, because honestly, I just created the C5 strategy earlier this year. I have been working with groups for several years. Before Facebook groups even existed, there was a website called Cafe Mom, and that's the first place I started adminning groups. And I was admin over several groups. We worked on how to get people engaged, how to make people actually show up, how to make people stay around for a long time. And even to the point that I got like an affiliate offer from one of those photo book companies, and I got a free photo book out of it because they wanted me to share about it in the groups that I was in. So that was pretty fun. But that was a long time ago, before Facebook groups even existed. That's when I started working with groups. I've also worked with a bunch of organizations and businesses like locally to help them work on engagement and get more people in the community to come out. I'm a visionary when it comes to that. So as far as the template for starting a group and strategy, there's certain processes that we go through that are really hard to do on your own. Like, you really need a second person to help you through that, because a lot of times when you have your own ideas in here, they kind of get muddied up because you already have your predispositioned thoughts. And when you have an outside mind coming in and listening to those thoughts, they change a little bit. And so that's kind of what we go through to make sure that you are getting to the absolute heart and soul of why your group exists. She says, I just started a group and threw it out there. Yep. And I think the idea behind your group, I can't wait until our schedules sync up, because I think the idea behind your group is so cool. If you are a vegan, talk to, or if you like vegetarian dishes or vegan dishes, talk to Chef Adana. I don't know if I said that right. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay. If you have multiple locations, do you need multiple groups, or is one sufficient? I think for a Facebook group, you don't have to have separate groups. It would definitely depend. I love to take a look at the impact that you're trying to make and what you're trying to do with it. So that would be a great question to bring to one of our first calls. But I did help one group that was by location, and there are 1,400 people in this small town. There's 1,400 women entrepreneurs in this one group in this small town. And honestly, I think one of the only reasons the group hasn't grown is because I left her with a bunch of strategies. She was able to take those strategies, grow the group from 500 to 1,400, all in the same zip code. But then after those strategies ran out, like, now what? So, but the thing is the group is still highly engaged. The group is still a great community. People love to be there. People are still selling in the group. She's still selling in the group, not quite as much as she was before, because I think she's just gotten a little overwhelmed and taken a step back. But she also, I hadn't created the C5 strategy at that point. So there's other things that I've implemented into the C5 strategy based on stuff that I've seen before, like putting teams in place, standard operating procedures, what to do when the group starts growing, how to handle it, how to delegate, stuff like that. We put all of that together within the C5 strategy. But honestly, you don't even want to think about the people who are your admins and moderators if you don't have the basic foundation of your group from C1 through C3. You need to have that stuff figured out first, because if you're getting admins and moderators, but you don't have the basic foundation of the group, then you're just bringing on people for no apparent reason, and it's not going to help with engagement. Okay. Or whole foods, just natural foods. Love it. Oh, good. I said it right. That's what I like to hear. A template to get you started. And then, so I purposefully designed the C5 strategy to where the very first part, it gets the group primed and ready for high engagement, so that you are making sales within the very first part of the C5 strategy. You don't have to wait until the last part of it to get sales. In the very first part, the idea is that you will start getting sales immediately, that you will start having those conversations that lead to money in the bank. That's the whole point of it. Is, there's people out there that are waiting for your solution, and when you set it up right, they find you. When you set it up right, they reach out to you. So that's the whole idea behind it. No one will want to mod the group if the group sucks. Yeah, that's true. But then there's some people too, like one of the things that happens when people set in volunteers for moderators and admins is what incentivizes them to stay. So these moderators and admins get in here, and then they're not really getting any benefit. They're just volunteering their time. They're not, like, you could maybe pay them, but even paying them, that's not their full-time job. Like, they're not making a ton of money from that. So that system is broken and doesn't work, and it doesn't last over time. So the idea behind what I created is something that has longevity, so that you continue to keep making money, you continue to keep having people raise their hand, you continue to keep people coming into your group, because, a group that fizzles out after a month sucks. A group that fizzles out after, 6 months sucks. You want something that's going to be able to keep paying you over time. And so that's one of the ideas to keep around. How to find groups the prime time. So the question that he actually asked was, can you check a group's prime time? And the suggestion that I gave for figuring out prime time, so Facebook has its own like little charts that you can see where the most like online times for people are, like when people are on most during the day. But you got to remember that Facebook has 2.6 billion people that live all over the world. So those time blocks are based on people all over the world, which is not very helpful for you if you are looking for a very specific target. So what I would do is, if you were in specific groups, you would actually go in there and you would just look at the time. Look at the timestamp. Like, go find somebody who looks like your target market and just look at when they're online. And you can just type their name into the search field and just look and see what time they're online. And that's not a very hard thing to do. So just go find somebody who's your target market. I mean, it might take you 3 minutes. It's not a very hard thing to do. But so different groups have different times that people are online. Tuesdays are usually a good day to be live doing a video. There are other days where people are very, very highly engaged. And if you plan ahead, people will know that you're going to go live, and some people will plan to be there. But Tuesdays are a pretty good day. It's more relaxed for everybody. Monday, people are stressed out. Wednesday, people are often, they're like, well, maybe not right now, but a lot of people go to church, or they have some kind of meetings on Wednesday, or there's like a ladies' night or something. I don't know. I've never been. I always had kids. And I think I calculated it out. My youngest is 2 right now. He's about to be 3. His birthday is Friday, but we're celebrating Thursday because my anniversary is Saturday. And see ya, children's. But okay, so 3, 18, that would be 15 more years. 15 more years until I have all my kids out of the house. 15 more years with kids in the house. Amazing. So typically though, Wednesday nights are pretty busy for people. Sometimes Thursdays are good too. But Thursday's also rolling into the weekend. So unless you are extremely entertaining, and especially Friday, like Fridays, people just want to do nothing. Like they want to veg, they want to do nothing. I mean, unless you're like me and you're like, I want to work. And then you're like, no, Cierra, you have to stop. People want to do nothing on Fridays. And then Saturdays, people are often out and doing stuff with family, so they don't often have time to watch a live. So that's why I do lives on Tuesdays. But other than that, I mean, you go jump into any of the groups that we're in mutually and you look at one of our favorite groups. You know which one I'm talking about. You go look at that group and you see how often people are engaging in that group. That group has picked up engagement a lot. And there's very specific reasons why. People love to be in there. It's a community. We like to engage with each other. And so in that specific group, I mean, you could post something at midnight and there's going to be 5 people who comment on that by the next day, most of the time, as long as you're friends with them. as long as people make friends within the group. Okay. If there are no other questions, then I will go ahead and jump off for the night. This is awesome. I loved having you guys here. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you watched this live, thank you. I love you guys. If you watched it live and you didn't comment, like I said last time, shame on you. I'm just kidding. No shame. No condemnation here. I still love you. If you watch this on the replay, make sure you put replay down below. And then if you guys don't already have a group, make sure that you drop down in the comments, what kind of group would you start? If you have a group, feel free to drop that down in the comments and let people know which group is, because I think that stuff is super, super cool. And I would love to help you boost engagement in your group.